All right.
Woo.
Hello.
Hello. We are Robolink.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So this is, I believe, video 4 or 5 in our series on color detection and FPVs and taking video with your CoDrone. So today we're going to be talking about how to do color detection with, can you get me that?
Yes.
Highlighter.
Yes. So we're going to be using
highlighters. Woo!
Yes, and we're going to detect them.
We're going to detect them. Okay, so really quick lesson first on hue, saturation, and value. Arnold's going to explain how exactly your CoDrone is going to be able to use those later. But hue is just the color that you're looking for on the color wheel. So in this case, we're going to be looking for a shade of yellow right there. Saturation is how much pigment is in the actual color. So for example, pink would be on a lower end of a saturation scale, whereas maroon or magenta, actually magenta would be closer, would be on the other end of that saturation scale because there's more pigment in it. And the value is how bright it is. So if you are going for something obnoxious like a highlighter, then that's going to have more of a value or a brightness than maybe a much darker yellow or a much lighter,
like a dirty yellow.
Like a dirty yellow.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So that is your lesson on hue, saturation, and value. And now we're going to turn you over to Arnold.
Yes. All right. So the first thing we got to do to get this program up and running, it's going to be very similar to our previous program that we made. We got to open up PyCharm. So right here, I got PyCharm opened up. I called it Simple Color Detect.py. And just in case if you want to make a new program, all you have to do is go into File. You're going to hit New. And you're going to write Python file. And so you just write the name for it. I called mine Simple Color Detect. And since I already made it, I'm not going to make it again, but I'll make this one right here. And I just hit OK. And that's going to create a new Python file. Okay. This is the one that I made. It's exactly the same code as before where we just capture the video. We're going to capture the video and then we're going to repeat our while loop. Everything inside of these lines right here though is going to be the new stuff just to do color detection. Okay, so I've kind of separated it out from the old code and from the code we're adding. Okay, so everything outside I'll do like a little quick recap. We're going to capture the video frame by frame. It's going to do a while loop. So if we do a break statement, we'll escape this while loop. We're also going to display the original frame, and we're going to listen for user input from the keyboard keys. So they hit Q, minuscule Q, or capital Q. It'll leave the while loop, and it'll stop capturing video frames. Okay. Now for the new stuff. As Kristen was just explaining, we're going to be using the HSV color wheel in order to give us depth in terms of color. Okay, so RGB doesn't really, it's not that great for doing color detection stuff because it's kind of limited. With HSV, you can get like value and like hue is one of the variables. There's 3 variables. There's hue, there's saturation, and value. With the saturation, you can discriminate if it's what is it called? Like she was saying, like a very obnoxious color. You can do more than you can with the RGB color space. And if you want to learn more about that, I'm going to add a couple of links in here. There's like this Wikipedia page, and then there's this other OpenCV tutorial that explaining how to use it. And here's actually how you turn the frame that we originally got into an HSV frame. Okay, here it says CV2, so that means that we're grabbing something from the OpenCV library. CVT color. We're going to pass in the frame we got, which is this guy right here, the frame from the video cam. And we're going to turn it into HSV. It's kind of funny how they put BGR to HSV, letting you know that you're going to convert it. Next, we're going to create a range. Okay, so we find our lower values and upper values. The best way to explain this is we got to look at the actual color wheel. So I'm going to go over here to the color wheel. This right here, the top part, the hue, think of it as a rotation. So the maximum value you can put into your HSV range is like 0 to 180, and that's talking about degrees. Um, Unfortunately, they don't do 0 to 360. They only do 0 to 180. So 0 degrees would be like right here, right around red. As you increase it, you start going in this direction, and once you reach 180, you get all the way full circle back again here. Okay, that's just how OpenCV does the hue saturation value thing. Saturation, as you can see here, as you increase it, it goes this way. Okay, and value, it goes up like that. We're gonna grab only like a little slice, which is this highlighter yellow looking region. Okay, and so this right here, 0. This might do like around 20 to 40 degrees. Okay, so this is 0 degrees right here. This might be from 20 to 40 degrees, and then we're going to grab a certain range of saturation and value. And that's what this looks like. We do 20 to 40. Okay, so that's the range we're going to do. This is our minimum, and then this is our maximum for just for the hue. For the saturation, we're going to do from 50 to 255. That's a pretty big range. The maximum value for saturation and value are from 0 to 255. And we do the same for value, and so what we're creating is a slice of this pie.
Oh wait, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Haha. So,
Mm-hmm.
no. All right. So, if for some reason I don't want to use highlighter yellow, and
Yes.
I want to use,
Maybe your bottle or something.
if I want to use this, how does one find values?
What I would do is play with the hue values, change them, like instead of being 20 to 40, maybe do, so that's like slightly pinkish. Get close
that's
to
super
180.
pinkish.
Somewhat. It's in the range of red
Okay.
or what is it? Yeah, it's like closer to like a purple.
Yeah.
So it might be closer to 180. Okay, so like I said, it goes from red and then it goes and rotates back to like the darker purples and all that stuff. So I would do maybe 180 to 160. So
Okay.
I would do minimum 160 for hue and maybe 180 for maximum for the
Okay.
hue.
And is there like a website that has anything?
There is, but I'm actually gonna release a slightly easier way to do it. Instead of
Okay.
having to manually find those colors, I'm just gonna create track bars so you can play with it in real time.
Woo, okay.
It's far more easier than trying to just guess and plug in numbers and spend a 1,000 hours on that.
Okay.
So
Okay. Sorry. Keep going.
that's okay. So back to this, we create our slice using these lower and upper values, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a cutout. I guess that's the way you could call it. Mass frame is another video frame that we're creating. It uses the lower and upper values to create a binary image or a black and white image, basically. It passes in this original frame, and then any colors that fall within these lower values and upper values, it just like throws away the ones that don't pass that test. So anything that's not the highlighter yellow, it'll throw it away. Anything that is, it'll keep it, and it will turn that region white. I'm gonna just display the output of this program right now real quick so that I can explain to you what this just one line of code does. I'm gonna run it, and I'll tell you which frame it is. It's this one right here. So as you can see, it's called mass frame. It's only allowing the yellow that comes through from this original image. So here's original image. It only passes the yellow and it creates white where it's at. Everything else it throws away and it turns it into 0, which is black. So 0, 0, 0.
Okay.
And then what's left behind, it just makes it a 255, 255, 255. And that's what you're seeing. Okay? Now, let me exit out of that. Go back to our code. That just creates a mask, okay? Or basically like a stencil. Now, when we're doing, when we want to find an exact color, we want to see the color as well. So in order to do that, since we have a stencil of just the color cutout, we want to put the original image behind it so that it can allow only the color to be seen. And so we do that with this right here, which I call color cutout, and it uses this function from OpenCV. It's called cv2.bitwise underscore and. It grabs the original frame we took up here, so the original video frame, and then it gets the mask frame, and it basically puts the original frame underneath and then puts on top the mask frame. And it allows the white space to basically act as a hole and like a color cutout. And that's what I display right here. And that's what you see if I run the program one more time. It's gonna run. Okay, there it is. If you see this one right here, this is the color cutout. You see? It allows the white spot to go through, and then this gets the original frame and allows the color to come through. Okay? And that's how you do color detection. Okay. And this code will be posted on Google Drive for you guys to actually download and play around with. I think for the next video, we're actually going to do, we will actually show you how to do video and color detection using the FPP module. Maybe some video saving as well. Yeah, we will post more details about that later. But for right now, at least you'll be able to do some color detection, find different colors. And like I said, I'll be also posting a track bar slider so that you can change the HSV ranges in real time. So like let's say you have like a red cup or something, you can just play around with the sliders and then you can find those exact numbers, put that into your code, and then you can find that. Yeah, and I think that's it for this video.
That's it for this video.
So see you guys.
Bye.